This is the Bible of the electrogenic cell. It's not just the best book ever written on the subject, it's the only book ever written on this subject. Brought to you by supporters of Christ.
Ooh! Pow! Pow! Ooh! Pow! Pow! Yeah! Yeah! It's getting ready. Get ready to get surgical. Yeah, listen, this ain't gonna be a long video either. This ain't gonna be a long video. It's just gonna be, yeah, we doing an open house. This the first class that we doing an open house. We did orientation, and now we doing an open house because I feel like somebody's trying to sneak in my frat, and it ain't gonna be no like that. So say, it's going down, man. It got to.
Rise up, get healthy, let the truth ignite. Dr. Inky always bringing dark to light. CMOS senior system.
Okay, now I told y'all we was gonna have to review. We was gonna have to go back over that video again. We gotta go back over that video again with Cedric. Right? We gotta go back over that video, not in lengthy detail. We don't have to like watch the whole video, right? But I do want to address a specific section of the book. Remember, thanks to Cedric and Unc, we have now entered a new phase. We have ushered into a new phase. And Sarnetta and Nepal, right? We got to thank them, right? Because they inspired me, right? When they put that guy with the witch hat, you know what I'm saying? Listen, we came with the FND now. Now we have a whole institution. The Forensics Ntcheru Detective Academy, right? The Forensics Ntcheru Detective Academy. And the Forensics Ntcheru Detective Academy has launched its first publications, right? So we had the first publication go out. Now we have the second publication, right? Now we have the second publication. I want to bring that up on the screen so we can see it, what I'm talking about. Right? Let's go to Amazon. Right? Boom. Let's go on over to Amazon. All right. So that way we can see it. Darwin's fallacies. Bam, that came right up. That was perfect. So, yeah, if you type in Darwin's fallacies, it comes right up. So this is the second book This is the second book right here. And so I want to discuss something out of this book, right? We want to go into this book today. And we want to come directly out of the book. So that way you guys can learn how to use these books to debunk these folks wherever you find them, right? You want to be able to use these books, especially the first two books. The first two books are like really surgical instruction manuals. Like they say this, you say this. You know what I'm saying? Like you should be able to just disrupt any live stream any live stream anywhere on the internet. You should be able to enter, or any debate anywhere. You should be able to use these books to debunk anyone anywhere on this topic. Period. Unless a lot of new information comes out, like a lot, a lot. They need a lot of new information to come out. Unless a lot of new information just suddenly appears, unless there's a Cambrian explosion of information that just comes out of nowhere, you'd be able to use these books to debunk anyone, anywhere, period, on these topics. So we want to make an example today out of Cedric, because remember, one of the things, and I don't know where it was at in the video, so we might have to watch more of the video than I thought. Yeah, we might have to watch a little bit more of the video than I thought. But somewhere in the video, remember, Cedric is saying that something about the fossils, right? So that's where we got him. We got him again. You know what I'm saying? We got him again. We got him again. He mentioned the fossils. So now it's like, okay, bam. Because see, this is the whole point. And I know I might be rambling a little bit. It's all right. But the point that I'm making is, going back to the original clip that I made, is that they opened up a scientific door by saying, you know, a biogenesis doesn't have a working model and it doesn't have a prediction. So it's not a complete theory. Like, by saying that, right, it was a confession that they understood. It's a confession that you understand. You don't have a complete theory without a working model and valid predictions. Predictions that are valid are predictions that have been tested, right? So you have to be able to have your predictions and then your experiments that validates the predictions, right? And so they open up incredible, like, I mean, it's almost like as if I'm writing this out and it's a movie and I'm writing the script. It's just like they just falling into the trap, like as if I'm Jason Voorhees and they the little white ladies at the end of the movie just falling onto the ground so I could get them with the, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is Halloween month, you know what I'm saying? But that's how they are. They like just falling on the ground. They got nothing but miles of escaping ahead of them. Like, this clear shot to the police station. They just falling on the ground. Like, ain't you just get so, but that's why we have the Forensics Detective Academy, so we can get surgical on these claims. So I told y'all yesterday another book was dropping. Darwin's Fallacies is the name of the book, and we will be using that book to create a example. Yeah, to create an example in real time. So remember, last video, I was debating with AI. You know what I'm saying? This, you'll get to see more of a realistic version, even though you kind of saw it in that video, because that's exactly what I was doing when I was having the conversation with him. I was literally right in the book. When I was like blended inheritance, when you get the book, you're going to see blended inheritance right there. Like, you're going to see it right in the book. You'll see blended inheritance in the book, and you'll see word for word. I used it on him and got the exact the predicted effect of what it says in the book. This is what happens when you say this. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's a bunch of them. So it's not like, yeah, it's just crazy. So anyway, that's what we're doing. We're going to go and review this fossil claim and have a quick fossil discussion, because, you know, a lot of people, they lean on that fossil claim, you know, and like I said, you can lean on one of the fallacies, one of the logical fallacies, which is appeal to the future. Right? Appeal to the future is a logical fallacy you can use to debunk any scientific argument that says we don't have the evidence right now, but at some point in the future, we'll have the evidence. That's like me saying right now, yeah, you could use a Honda Civic to time travel. And they're like, I bet. So can you show us a Honda Civic that time travel? And I'm like, nah, I can't. But in the future, one day they're going to have, in the future, one day they'll have one. And then you could credit me for the, like, what? That's insane. Darwin has been pimping that. There is no part of anything attached to Darwin that works where the science was created by Darwin. Nothing. It is a massive logical fallacy. So this book will give you the debunking points, and then it'll give you the logical fallacies and how to use the logical fallacies. And obviously you're not going to be able to memorize the stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? But you'll have it in a certain type of way. So yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. Man, peace to the family. Talk about it. Talk about it. Good evening. Definitely appreciate you. Yeah, man, we got to get the young Ntcherus. We got to get all the YNs, man. We got to get all of the YNs. Let's go. Yo, we got to get all the YNs in the building, man. Where is all of the YNs? Yeah, we got to get all the YNs in the building, man. Yeah, we got to get all the YNs in the building. Oh, wow. Let's go. That's crazy. That is crazy. No, it's not. It's not unavailable. It's not unavailable. What happened with that book? Look. What happened with that book was me and Amazon had a little discrepancy out here in these streets. Me and Amazon had a little discrepancy out here in these streets. I you know, somewhere in the publishing pipeline, it got messed up. So I put one in, it didn't go through. So it got canceled, and then I had to resubmit. So somehow, sometimes that other copy is still like it's like a ghost in the Amazon machine floating around in there. And so if you happen to click on that, it'll say not available, but you just got to look, you know what I'm saying? Like, just look I don't know how to, you know what I'm saying? Just look again and you'll find it. You know what I'm saying? Just look again and you'll find it. But you can always find these right here, like the book groups, and just click this link and it'll give you the whole list of whatever the books is that's in that group. And then you could just stroll down. You could just stroll. Yeah, see, look, it still has both of them listed here. That's crazy because that's messing up the book count. So see right there on this side over here, this is the one right here. This is the first one that messed up and it didn't, whatever. But yeah, so it's definitely still available. Yeah, they wow for still having that up. They wow for still having that up. But yeah, these are the two new joints right here. These are the two new joints right here that's out. So that is interesting. Darwin's Fallacies is going to be epic. But definitely, man, I got to thank you, Shingo, for the 50. Thank you for the 50, and thank you for being a supporter for so long. Yeah, Shingo, man. I definitely... Folks like you keep me up at night. Because I don't know how long Shingo been around. I don't know how long Shingo been around. Period. I don't even know how long. But Shingo been around for a minute. Definitely appreciate you for being around. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, you know what I'm saying? But you know, I got a 10-year and better club. I got a 10-year and better club. Shingo was in the 10-year and better club. All right. Man, that really, you know what I'm saying? I was thugging just now, Shingo. I just want to let you know, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I was thugging just now, just in case you didn't know. I was in the middle of my thug program. Like I was, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I was in my thug bag. Now you got me feeling nostalgic and bromantic. Yo. Shout out to Shingo though, seriously. Let me find this video so we can act a fool. Where's this video? You lucky Sai didn't answer the phone because I was trying to go live over there so I could really go crazy and act a fool. Boy, lucky. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. That's the one thing I hate about Halloween is like all these scary movies, man. I do not want to see these things popping up. Like some of these joints, they make sure like to put some wicked images in your mind within the first few seconds, which you can't get out of your mind. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I do not want these wicked images in my mind. All right, let's see what we got here. Where you at?
With what
I'm absolutely dealing with you said.
You made a claim about inheritance. I responded to you.
There we go. So you opened up the door about fossils. You opened up the door to the logical fallacy called appeal to the future. You on my show, so you got to follow my program. This is not the community of skeptics.
You want to make me famous? Come deal with me. I'm right here now. So now,
all right, you got to relax. You got to act like a man.
Now
You gotta act like a man, brother.
I'm gonna make you look foolish and stupid.
You gotta act like a man, brother. You gotta act like a grown up.
If you would act like a man, you wouldn't create.
You gotta act like a man, brother. You gotta be a grown up.
If you was gonna be a grown up, you wouldn't have chopped up a so let's deal with you.
You mad?
Are you ready to get your lies?
You mad?
You scared? You scared?
Look how mad he is.
Scared. Look how scared you is. Share my screen, sir. Let's deal with this.
We're not sharing your screen. Listen.
Are you scared? Are you scared?
You gotta answer some questions first. All you gotta do is answer some questions first.
Share my screen, sir.
All you got to do is answer some questions first, and then you can share your screen.
So let me share my screen. Let me share my screen, and what you scared of? What you scared, Enki?
No, I'm in control. That's all. This is just my show. This not your show. We're not at the community of skeptics, brother.
Look at you. You shaking in your boots because you know I got you, right? You know I got you because you can't plan me because I'm smarter than you on anything. So why don't you let me share my screen? Let us entertain the audience. Let's share our screen. While you play that nonsense in the background, I'm gonna share my screen and we're gonna see how the two line up. Because we're talking about abiogenesis in this clip, and abiogenesis is a separate subject from the theory of evolution. So now let's examine why Darwin's theory of evolution is a theory. You want to do that and compare it to why abiogenesis is still a hypothesis? Because you seem to be confused about these two distinct topics. And in doing that, you're making Ank's point valid. You have no clue what a theory in science means. So if you don't want me to share my screen, I would let you continue with your infantile display, demonstrating again that you have no command
Don't run.
No, I'm going to share my screen. And then I'm gonna say,
no, you're not. You gotta talk
first. Then I'm gonna leave.
You gotta talk. See, that's what you wanted. Nah, you ain't getting ready to do that.
What I needed to say. So after you're done, I'll come back and share my screen because you're too coward to face me right here. So let me share my screen. Let me put it down, and you gotta
answer some questions first.
No,
you gotta answer some questions first.
Respond to facts. I'm not doing 21 questions with you. You are not on my level, so you don't question me, especially after you're making a clip.
So drop down then.
So let us deal.
Drop down. You out of here.
Let me deal with your little clip. You ain't ready to
do that on your page.
Why are you afraid of me? Why are you scared? I'm
right not here. Afraid. You the one that's afraid to answer questions.
On my screen, he said he's not.
All you got to do is answer some questions first.
He said he's not afraid. Share my screen, please.
Answer some questions.
Let's deal with Enki's lies in real time.
All you got to do is answer some questions. If not, you're wasting our time. If you're not going to answer no questions, you're wasting our time. You got to go.
And no. You lied on me. You have your little clip. Now I'm up here to deal with it. I'm gonna respond to your clip. I'm gonna respond to your clip.
You gotta have a dialogue, brother. You gotta be able to close your mouth for a second. You gotta be able to close your mouth and show some self-control.
You have a clip that is completely out of context. Like
show some discipline, man.
Show some abiogenesis is a separate subject from evolution. And abiogenesis is still in its hypothesis phase. Why? Because we can't create the early conditions of Earth. However, abiogenesis and evolution are two different subjects. And if you think you're going to confuse evolution and abiogenesis in the same conversation, then you're poorly mistaken. Again, illustrating you have no idea what the theory of evolution is and why Darwin's predictions came later on to be proven true. His predictions, which were established later on, made his hypothesis and all his experiment a hard scientific theory. The same way the Big Bang theory was established much later on when the prediction of the CMB was ultimately discovered. So again, Enki, you're illustrating your ignorance and making these infantile clips is a waste of Sarnetto's good audience time and the intellect of the people. Read the chat, Enki. You're being clowned.
I don't need to read the chat. I don't need to read the chat.
So let me share my screen.
No, you cannot share your screen, brother, until you answer questions and stop talking.
All right, hold up. Cedric, he's gonna let you share your screen, but he wants you to answer some questions first. Don't be scared, Cedric. Answer his question. Answer his question. You know you're gonna knock him out the park when you
answer. What is abiogenesis? Let's go. What is abiogenesis? Not abiogenesis, abiogenesis. The way scientific community.
No. He wanted you to answer his questions.
What question you got for me, Inky?
Weed control and specialty crops and
Stay right here. Stay right here. We're dealing with abiogenesis and Darwin's theory of evolution. We ain't doing nothing else. Stay right here. Because I'm coming up here to combat your false allegations made right now. So let's stay right here. Are you going to stay right here? Or you can let me share my screen, clear up the nonsense.
Let's go, Inky. Let's go. Ask me a question.
Let's go. Stay right here.
Listen, Cedric, let me just explain something to you first.
No, but you were going to ask me a question, though. Go ahead. Ask me the question.
Cedric, listen to what I'm telling you, though. Before I ask you the question, I need you to take it down from like a number 11 to like a 6 or a 5.
When you lie on me, this is what you get. So you're going to deal with...
Wait a minute. Hold on. What lie did I tell on you?
Stupid.
Come on, y'all. Information. Come on, man.
Cedric, using words in a calm, like adult manner. What lie did I tell on you today?
So that clip that you put up stating that I body slammed Unc, no, I was actually doubling down, reiterating the point Unc previously made. We were having a conversation solely about abiogenesis, and the state of the academic field today, you know for a fact, there is no complete theory of abiogenesis. Why? And the examples I gave is because we can't recreate the Earth's early circumstances. So when I said, like Ankh said, no, like Ankh said, I was agreeing with. So your infantile clip trying to put me against Ankh when I was actually reiterating what Ankh said when I said no, like Ankh said, no, like Ankh said, again, no, like Ankh said, and to make that clip either illustrate your ignorance to the English language or your weak attempt to blame, flim-flam, and bamboozle the people, trying to create a distinction between Unc and I position when I was supporting his position with regards to abiogenesis. That has nothing to do with Darwin's theory of evolution. And if you're conflating the two, you're making Unc's point again. You have no idea what a scientific theory is.
Okay, so great. So for the record, does Darwin's concept specifically, because you said we're speaking specifically about Darwin, correct?
No, we're speaking about the theory of evolution by means of natural selection. Darwin's theory.
Hold on. Right. Darwin said, that's what I just said. That's what I said. I need you to come from
evolution.
I need you to come down, brother. You listen. Your energy is too high. You got too much. You got too much.
Too much for you. Too much for you. Restate your question.
No. You got too much for yourself. Listen, you ain't even put your shirt on. You came on here with your tank top on. Like,
go ahead with your question.
Listen,
I'm always ready.
No, okay. So can you please tell us the experiment, right? The experiment that validates Darwin. I need you to stop talking. You gotta stop talking.
You gotta let him talk, man. He lets you talk.
You gotta stop talking. Yeah, listen.
Let him talk.
I need you to explain to the people the experiment that validates Darwin's predictions for the blending of inheritance. Very specifically.
So
I didn't finish. You gotta relax.
No. So
you gotta relax. You got what's happening? You falling apart. Listen.
Cedric, you can't let him get you, Cedric.
No,
he's ripping you apart. You gotta let him talk. No,
that's all.
You gotta let him speak. Let him finish.
So for the people, I want you to explain to us, right? The experiment.
How long you are?
The experiment.
How ignorant we are to the scientific process. To think that it's merely
Cedric, please, brother, you got to be quiet while he's talking, Cedric. Come on, you got to show discipline, Cedric.
Come on, sir.
Nah, man, he was quiet when you were speaking. You got to give him that same thing.
Asking me the question, and the fact that I already given him the answers is what is frustrating him. He's completely wrong, and he knows I'm gonna head him off.
Yeah,
Come on, you gotta let him talk, because I'm gonna let you get your. Believe me, when you talk, I'm gonna tell him to be quiet too.
You ain't gonna have to.
To answer this question, I'm gonna respond with
No, you're not. No, you're not. You're gonna respond with words. You're not listening. You're not sitting here trying to smuggle in your video and then run, Cedric. You're gonna have to be like a man. You're gonna have to show discipline. You're gonna have to answer questions.
This is the community where we source up.
Exactly. And so that's what I want you. Oh, I'm glad you mentioned that.
I'm gonna source my answer.
I'm so glad you mentioned that.
You want me to answer that question?
I want to ask you the question first. So I want you to be able to be quiet. Listen, I want you to be able to be quiet so I can ask you the question. And then if you'd like to actually show sources for the question to answer and do, I would love for you to do that. All right, that's no problem. But I want you to show some discipline. So the question is, Darwin's theory of blending
of evolution by means of natural selection. That's Darwin's theory. Do not.
Cedric, you got to be quiet, bro. You worse than Apostle, Cedric. And Apostle is the worst on here, bro.
No, stop. Cedric is scared, brother. This is called bravado. This is where you cover up your lack of understanding with bravado and, machismo and all kind of extra, extra, read all about it. What he wanted to do was come up here, say a whole bunch of stuff, play his video, and then run. He don't want to answer no questions.
I'm not playing a video, bro. I don't need to play a video to beat you. Okay. You're too easy.
Great. Okay. So
yeah. Ask your question, Nicky.
I have a few questions, but we start with one. Can you explain to us, can you demonstrate, can you show us, can you provide us proof with an experiment that validates the predictions Darwin made in his theory, in his hypothesis for blending inheritance?
I'm retired, active duty Air Force. The rising costs are just crushing so many veterans. John James.
Come on, Sal, what you got going on this time? Wow, and this is the joint where they force you. They're like, nah, you ain't skipping these joints. Are you familiar with Darwin's hypothesis for blending inheritance? Yes or no?
All right, let's hear his response.
Watch how he flim-flammed y'all, folks. He's asking me for theories and experiments for Darwin's theory. And he's talking about.
Are you familiar with Darwin's hypothesis about blending inheritance, brother?
Let him answer. Let him answer.
But he's not.
yeah, I'm gonna answer. I'm gonna take my time and answer this.
Okay, go ahead.
So, folks, what you just saw was the flim-flam. Mind you, Darwin theory is the theory of evolution by means of natural selection. That theory was corroborated later on, right? Which makes his hypothesis by means of the predictions that he made that we would find fossils that would link us up to Africans or other primates.
All right, let me just show y'all, because he talking us to death. But let me just give y'all one example since we here, so y'all can see how to use this book. So now, mind you, it's a bunch of these in the book, so don't get stuck on this, right? But history is not going to change anytime soon, so you can continue to reuse this over and over. Like say, for instance, I go online and then I see Cedric online tomorrow. I could ask him the same question again because the answer's not going to change. So I could continue to debunk him with that like till infinity. But there's a bunch of them, you know what I'm saying? But let me show you so you understand what I'm saying. Like, this was just so you understand what the forensics Ntcheru Detective Academy. This would. So you see that? That's textbook right there. Oh no, it ain't come up on the screen. Why it didn't come up on the screen? Here you go. It's taking a second. Maybe because I got this open. Save that. Close this. Maybe that'll help. What? Something is up with my share screen. Oh, hell no. It keeps saying they navigator, ne peut pas accéder à votre écran. C'est avec un écran pour le problème persiste. Damn. How am I gonna do this if I can't share my screen? Why is it that I cannot share my screen? All right. Well, let me see. Yo, my joint is not sharing. Hold on, let me go out and come back in. Let me see something. Maybe I'll have to, because it's not letting me share it. Let me see if I do this. Let me see if I do that. Will it let me share that? Like maybe. Okay, maybe something's up with my. Wow, that's crazy. It is not letting my screen is not allowing me to share anything. They're saying that StreamYard has a problem right now with the sharing option. What the hell is that all about? So is it still letting me share this? On a blood clot thing that. How is it like not allowing me to share nothing else but YouTube videos? Okay. Stop that. Share that. Nah, we gotta figure this out real quick. I appreciate y'all patience. Here, watch this. Go watch something. Oh, matter of fact, it is letting me share. That's gonna let the video play.
After they started digging, lo and behold, the fossil record made Darwin's prediction a matter of fact. Darwin was also trying to develop a mode of inheritance, and he came up with a hypothesis that was, according to the scientific method, debunked. His hypothesis was proven false. It was false.
All right, you froze up, man.
Understanding, right? So it proves the scientific method to be true.
Wait. We didn't hear you. Go back and go back. We didn't hear you.
You froze up.
Yeah, you froze up. Rewind that. We want to hear that part.
So Darwin's theory.
You were saying that Darwin predicted the fossils?
No, please. I know what exactly.
I just want to bring you back to where we missed. You were saying Darwin predicted the fossils.
I know.
The fossils.
Darwin's theory of evolution contained a prediction that we would find a fossil record. And lo and behold, when the digs were done, the fossil record was discovered, establishing and making Darwin's prediction part of his whole hypothesis and making it a scientific fact. Now, Enki is making the pseudo claim that only experiments can establish scientific fact. No, we have inferences, right? What he was observing the finches, and he understood the environment produced and gave rise to a particular aspect, a particular species with particular traits that are best suited for that environment, right? That was Darwin's theory of evolution by means of natural selection. Environmental pressures is what drives the evolution. His hypothesis of one of the mechanisms, inheritance, which we know today, genetics, is a matter of fact. Darwin's proposed mechanism was proven false. This does not defeat or have anything to do with Darwin's theory of evolution by means of natural selection. And the fact that we understand genetics, and genetics is the key component in heredity, means that Darwin understood heredity. He just didn't have the explanation for the mechanism, proving that the scientific method works, because the method he proposed was proven to be falsified. Now, Enki is trying to flim-flam. So he's asking for experiments when he doesn't understand that inference and deductive reasoning with corroborating evidence can.
You will get to sound off on whether or not.
All right, we back again to try to fix this problem. All right, well, I'll read it to you. I don't know what's happening right now. Maybe the haters is watching and God don't want me to let them see the book. Yeah, maybe this is intelligent design. The Ntcheru said no. But when you open up the book, right, you'll see a section, and in the section it has specific things. So where we go to blending inheritance, right? And that's number one. So I didn't even go deep. I just went to number one, asked him number one. He failed immediately on number one. It explains to you what blending inheritance is, right? And then it explains to you what Darwin's prediction was, right? So it tells you what it is. Then it tells you what Darwin's prediction was. And then it tells you, and these are all in bullets, so it's nice and clean. Then it tells you what falsified it, right? So that way you have the language to properly articulate. It tells you what falsified it. It gives you the replacement. And then it tells you what happened, right? So you have every single part to totally break it down, right? And we go through that for a bunch of them. right? We go through that for a bunch of them. And then with the fossils, I wanted to kind of show y'all this fossil portion, but it's all right. We'll just read through it, right? We'll just read through it. It says, "Dear Mr. and or Mrs. Darwinite got the fossil prediction right," right? Mr. or Mrs. Darwinite got the fossil prediction right, right? We ask a question, right? What does phyletic gradualism mean, right? And this is probably why the StreamYard is like not letting me share, because I'm teaching too much, right? Because that right there is a moment that I just gave away. You know, one of these moments, like every time we do a video and I ask them a question, they be like, "Huh? I never heard of that before. You just made that up." That right there is one of those moments. We just gave that away, right? Phyletic gradualism, right? Phyletic gradualism is how you open up the debunking of the fossil conversation. You know what I'm saying? Because search engines and even AIs are programmed to go to like the official, you know, Western academia, you know, and pull from those places. They will never agree right off the back with you challenging anything in the system. So you have to know exactly how to get right to which you need to get to. You know what I'm saying? You got to know where the bodies are buried. You know what I'm saying? You got to know where's the red button, where's the weakness at, right? So that's the question you have to ask, right? And asking that question alone may totally debunk the person and explode this. Like when I asked him about blending inheritance, I didn't even get into nothing deep because blending inheritance already debunked. Because he didn't know what that was. He thought blending inheritance was the same thing as pangenesis. Right? So you can ask a person, you know, what's phyletic gradualism? And chances are they probably won't know what you're talking about. At that point, that's that menace. You know, did you get the beer at 10:45? Yeah, I got the beer at 10:45. 1 hour later. Did you get the beer at 9:45? Yeah, I got the beer at 9:45. See, you know you just effed up right now, right? You know you just effed up right now, right? So you might not even be able to get them past phyletic gradualism, and you be done already debunked them. W for intelligent design. W for Team God. But anyway, phyletic gradualism is the idea that lineages typically change, you know, in a uniform manner over time, very slowly, right? And so when it comes to Darwin's predictions about fossils, that's where he was debunked, right? Because his overarching theory, you know, theory of evolution by natural selection, it requires things to change the exact same way over the exact same time, given the exact same circumstances. Exact same way, exact same time, given the exact same circumstances, because the environment alone is guiding change. So if we put anything that's the same in the same environment, they should be becoming the same thing. They should be becoming identical. If we put two of the same thing in the same environment over the same amount of time, they should be moving to identical, right? And the thing, oh man, I can't even say that out loud. Let me just write that down. Oh, that was crazy right there. Not what I said, what came into my mind. Oh my goodness. That's ether right there. Yeah, that's gonna be in the next book. But so everything has to happen slowly over time. That's phyletic gradualism. And so Darwin's predictions about the fossils is that, and mind you, it was a massive appeal to the future fallacy. So yeah, it was dead before it even but so the idea was that, we can't find the fossils now to figure this out. But in the future, we'll be able to find some fossils that explains everything. Because the Cambrian explosion almost completely destroyed Darwin. Period. It should have. The Cambrian explosion, for anybody who's not familiar with that, right? So the idea, let me refresh you, just in case you don't know. So the Cambrian explosion, so the Darwin concept is this, right? The Darwin concept is, it's a whole, they've extended it all the way out. So it goes Big Bang, abiogenesis, Darwin's theory of evolution, right? This is a whole godless or informationless or intelligentless, basically dumb. I don't even know who would want to live in a dumb universe on a dumb planet. Like, what's wrong with this? Like, anyway, so the idea is that things are, everything comes from one thing, and that thing started off really, really, simple. And it's learning things, and it's getting more complex and more complex over time. And every so often, it just changes into a whole new thing, right? So every so often, boom, one bacteria it'll just turn into a bunny rabbit, you know what I'm saying? Or turn into a snake. And then, after a while, a snake will just turn into an eagle, and after a while, a bear will just turn into a whale. And what's crazy is that the craziest part of that is that these people will get angry with you and say that you're not scientific if you say, like, Muhammad was visited by an angel and the angel supposedly taught him the Quran. Now, I personally believe that's a little crazy, right? But I respect it. You know what I'm saying? A person on the the biological evolution side of things, they say, oh no, that's a miracle. That's foolishness. There's no angel that can you can't just, or they'll say, oh, Jesus walked on water. That's impossible. You can't just walk on water. But they expect you to accept miracles as well. That's the problem, the hypocrisy, right? Rocks was in water and there was gas. So there was ammonia and rocks, and then there was lightning, and then a DNA started. These are miracles, right? So anyway, Darwin's hypothesis makes the prediction that the fossil record will be able to verify his theory of gradualism, that when we search the fossils, underground and look for bones and stuff like that, it'll show the development of all of the creatures, because technically each level that we go deeper and deeper into the ground should have like an older version of all of the animals. So the planet has a certain type of people and all, reptiles, amphibians, whatever, like all of the different, each level we go into the fossils, we should be able to find a slightly older version that's a little bit less modified. And we should be able to go back, and trace all of the different, life forms through the fossil record. And they should go, from complicated to less complicated, less complicated, less complicated, less complicated, all the way back till you could see the transformation of like whales turning back into bears, that turn back into raccoons, that turn back into rats, people turning back into like gorillas, and then back into chimps, and then back into, this whole process. This is what's predicted in the fossil record. So I can tell y'all laughing too hard in the chat. This is why I be laughing. See, y'all, people take it as an insult when I be laughing, because I understand what these guys are saying. And for me, some of it seems crazy to see grown adults that's, and I'm like, honestly, there's more evidence for Santa Claus or the Tooth Fairy. There's more evidence for the Tooth Fairy. Now, listen, let me not say Santa Claus, but the Tooth Fairy, there's definitely more evidence for the Tooth Fairy than some of these claims made by these evolution folks. Because listen, if you put your tooth under your pillow, depending on how good your parents were, but if you put that tooth under your pillow, my mom's was good. My mom was good. I'm talking about, she could tell when I was like fake sleeping, waiting to bust her in the act. You know what I'm saying? Like she was good. Sometimes she'd let that tooth just stay under that pillow for a couple days until I forget about it. Then she'd presto change it. I go back under it like, this is crazy. You know what I'm saying? A little 50-cent dollar or something. Yeah. I'm telling you. Anyway, the Cambrian explosion is basically a fossil find where an era of fossil finds where it totally debunked everything Darwin was saying. The fossils were all complicated beyond the modern understanding, and they was a zillion years old or whatever the case may be. And that right there, the Cambrian explosion, should have totally debunked Darwin right there on the spot. But guess what they did? They just doubled down and hit the double up in the casino. Now listen, when you gambling in the casino, the odds are you're not going to leave that casino with your money. Now you gotta know when to hold them and know when to fold them. You know what I'm saying? Kenny Rogers, you know when to hold them, know when to walk away, know when to run. They stayed in the casino and doubled down, right? Because the first time they said, oh, no. The fossil record is going to verify, appeal to the future. Mind you, this is a logical fallacy. Appeal to the future. Matter of fact, let's read that together. Hopefully I can still share that at least. Come on. All right, cool. So somehow it's just not letting me share my writings. Appeal to the future. Logical fallacy. Okay, bang. All right, so there you go. So y'all should be able to see this now. Right? So this is a logical fallacy, right? The appeal to the future is a logical fallacy where a claim is argued to be true because evidence to support it will allegedly be discovered in the future. It's a variation of the appeal to prophecy, suggesting that future findings will validate a current unsupported argument. But this does not make the argument valid now. A related but distinct fallacy, the appeal to futility, argues that an action is pointless due to a large negative future event. Okay, so this was actually a good breakdown because it gives you a couple of logical fallacies that these guys rely on. But I like to keep it simple. Appeal to the future, right? Appeal to the future. This is what they live off this. So they was appealing to the future already, saying, oh no, the fossils is going to verify this. Trust me. Yeah. We don't got the evidence right now, but in the future, when you go into the fossils, when y'all go into the ground and do the digs and the finds, y'all are going to find, based on the hypothesis, this is the prediction. Y'all are going to find the fossils that prove what I'm saying about gradual, Cambrian explosion. Destroys that. And then Gregor Mendel's theories also add in and destroys that. Gregor Mendel's theories didn't fix Darwin. I want y'all to know this. This is a mind game they try to play on you. Gregor Mendel's theories debunked Darwin. They didn't fix it. They debunked, replaced, right? So what are you talking about, Inky? So remember, it's supposed to be simple organisms that because of the environment, right, they're changing based on, getting advantages for their environment, and they're getting better and better and better over time. Well, the problem is when you have the Cambrian explosion, it shows that when you go back real far, all the way back real far, they're still complex. We don't see the gradual, that the fossil doesn't support that. The fossil actually debunks that. It's the opposite. And then the mutations cause it to lose information over time. So, but guess what they said? They just doubled down at the casino. They said, put all the chips in. We're going to put all the chips in, and we're going to say, guess what? You didn't make enough fossil finds. When you find some more fossils, no, listen. You got to find some more fossils. There's more fossils out there. And the next group of fossils that you find below the Cambrian explosion line, you're going to find the fossils that predate the Cambrian explosion fossils. And so that's going to show the gradual step by step from before the Cambrian explosion fossils, and that's going to prove everything that we said. So guess what happened? They found some more fossils. And you guessed it. The fossils further debunked Darwin. And so guess what they did this time? They made up another lie. They just make up stuff. These evolution people is insane. They just make up stuff. At least religious people, they say, oh, religious people believe in foolishness. Well, guess what? Religious people have to at least stick to a script. Their books is written down already. They can't just make up stuff. They already got books written, so they got to stick to what's in the book. These folks just pulling stuff out of thin air. They're like, oh, well, you know what? We know why you can't find the fossils. Because the fossils already broke down in the ground. Yeah, that's what happened. The fossils for the older ones that you need to find, yeah. So they're so soft. Yeah, that's what it is. They're so soft. it's impossible for them to be preserved long enough for us to find them. So, based on the fact that we cannot find the fossils that would prove us right, we are still right because we have hypothesized that those fossils existed, but we just can't find them. What? I said, wait a minute. What? Sometimes, listen, I'm telling you, sometimes I be reading these books and people, this is all my life. I'll be reading like a scientific, I'll be reading some, like people be looking like, and I'll be busting out laughing, cracking up, having a good time going through this stuff. And they be like, yo, them books is boring. Like, how are you reading? Like, how are you entertained by reading it? I'm like, yo, some of this stuff is crazy. You'd be surprised. Some of this stuff is crazy. Because see, what happens is, when I was young, right, it wasn't really cool to read. You had to know how to fight in order to like be seen outside reading the book. That was a real thing. And yeah, that's because it was mostly like real books. You had to read books back in that time period. You didn't have urban literature yet. There was no urban literature yet. There was only Donald Goins, Robert Beck, Iceberg Slim. Robert Beck is Iceberg Slim. So there's Donald Goins and Robert Beck. And at the time where they were writing their books, it wasn't called urban literature. These were two authors that was writing about their life in the street. Outside that, you had maybe like Man, Child in the Promised Land or something. I think that was the title, something like that. But there wasn't books like that. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't a whole bunch of like hood, sex, ridiculous books floating around. You know what I'm saying? You didn't have a whole big market of like mystery, action, foolish. Like you just didn't have a bunch of foolishness around. So if you was going to be reading, chances are you had to read some high quality material, at least every so often. You couldn't stay lost in like foolishness because there wasn't that much foolishness to be lost in. I think Robert Beck only had 1 or 2 books, and Donald Goins may have had 6 or 7. You read that 2-3 months, and it's like, okay, what's next? Now you got to read some quality. You know what I'm saying? You're done with that. So anyway, my point is, it wasn't really cool to read back then. So people was like, then later on, urban literature hits. And all of these books about, selling kilos and shooting people and, just drill music written in books. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so then you have the sex books like Zane and, and so it's like people was lying and having sex with everybody. Well, and so what the point I'm getting to with this is we forget that human nature is human nature. So when you read in like urban literature and, you got F-boys and you're like, man, why you, or you reading a romantic book and everything is straight and then somebody cheat and mess up the relationship. You're like, yo, how he going to do that to, like, don't believe that it's only in certain settings where you have like goofballs or F-boys or sluts or what, like you just have low quality people everywhere, right? So don't think that there's not liars, scammers in the academic universe. It's loaded. Y'all have to understand this. It's loaded. Epstein was a high school, listen to this. Epstein, right? Everybody knows who's Epstein. Epstein was a math teacher. Epstein was a math teacher. Just want y'all to know that. Epstein was these were educators. So when y'all get all, whoozy doozy about whose credentials is what, and the scholar said this and that, Epstein was a scholar. Epstein was a math teacher, and his girlfriend, right? What's her name? Gazelle Max Lane Gazelle. I don't know why I'm thinking Griselda. I too much Benny the Butcher. Gazelle Max, whatever her name is, the girlfriend. Her father was the one who was in charge of the scientific journals. Epstein's lady, the one that was just with Trump, they were trying to get it to release the papers and all. Her daddy was the guy who was in control of like all of the scientific journals. And he started scamming. He started selling places in the scientific journals. Listen, y'all, this is what I'm trying to tell y'all. People is everywhere. So when you read a Robert Beck book and he's talking about the pimps and the prostitutes and woo, the pimping and the prostituting is just the world that those people are in. But if you take those same people and put them somewhere else, they would still behave the same way. So when you take those people and you put them into school as a math teacher or a college teacher or, you know, academic vetter or whatever they call themselves, in charge of peer review, you know, they're validating papers and articles. They're still wild out here in these streets. It don't matter where you at. It's wow, right? Rakim said it ain't where you from, it's where you at. Yo, I'm trying to tell you. Let's go. Tika with the W. Tika with the W. Don't forget to purchase your debate ticket. Don't forget to purchase your debate ticket. Because listen, now I'm glad you brought this up. Because Sa has already let me know that the debate is not coming onto YouTube afterwards. So I know there's some people that's probably going to be thinking like, well, I'm going to just wait. They're going to do the debate and they're going to release it on YouTube after anyway. So I might as well just wait until after. I ain't paying no $30 to see that debate. I'm going to just wait till whatever, next week, they're going to release it. About that. About that. That's not going to happen. So you're going to have to get your ticket to see that debate. I mean, you can get the books, right? You can get the books. But yeah. So I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? Back to the, you know, like just know that Epstein was a school teacher and his wife or whatever she was, his mistress or whatever she was to him, her dad was the one in charge of the scientific journals. Like people like, yo, we got to show a scientific journal. He was scamming. He was accepting. It was wild, bro. You gotta look this stuff up. So these evolutionists is wild. They have bent the rules in every single direction and just made up stuff. They said the fossil record would validate their predictions. It did not. It debunked them. So they said that it's going to be a next fossil find that's going to do it. They didn't find it. They said, oh, well, guess what? The fossils that we're looking for are so old, and they probably didn't have a fully developed skeletal system. So because they were soft creatures, the soft tissue did not fossilize well. And so because the soft tissue didn't fossilize well, there's no way we'll be able to find them. So they're just missing. And yeah, but we've hypothesized it. And so that's, yeah, so that's, we're going to roll with that. And this is why I'm saying Cedric and Unc opened up a very dangerous universe for themselves. Because see, John Q. Public that's just on our platform, they probably not that familiar. So they don't really know like they didn't know that was like the death sentence. I just be listening. You know that saying, you got one mouth and two ears? I be trying to listen like I got 3 ears. I got 3 ears. I got 4 ears. I'm ear. Like I'm tuned all the way, all 4 ears listening. I got 4 ears listening. Got him. And then you gonna say something crazy, and then I'm gonna know I got you. And that was a moment right there when he said, yeah, we don't have a working model in the prediction. I said, oh my God. Why does boy bring up the E word? That's gonna be because they don't have any evidence. All of their evidence, if you keep asking them to show evidence, they're gonna say, well, we don't have that. Oh yeah, the people in the monk, the people in the gorillas, the great apes, we all primates and we have a common ancestor. Okay. Which common ancestor? Can you show us the common ancestor? Yeah, just pull it up. You know how they want to see sources? Yeah, source it up. Let's see the common ancestor. Source up the common ancestor. Well, we haven't found the common ancestor, but we hypothesize that a common ancestor exists. And so in the future, we'll be able to find that common ancestor and prove what we like. Wait a minute. That's that logical fallacy thing right there. Is that an appeal to the future? So you mean you don't have the evidence today? But in the future, we'll be able to find the common. Oh, got it. Got it. Yeah, that's a crash and burn, family. Not going to work over here. You're going to have to provide that. Like they say, listen, you got to show proof that, where's Jesus' bones buried? You got to show us Jesus' bones. All right. We ain't got Jesus' bones. Where's the common ancestor bones? We hypothesized. Like, oh, okay, well, guess what? We hypothesized Osiris bones too. Yeah. Osiris bones is right next to the common ancestor bones. So we good. We just gonna relax our evidence on that. Like, yeah, that's how we gonna prove what we say. Osiris was buried right next to the common ancestors. They all right in that same, when you go to the funeral home, you got a plot. Yeah, we got the next plot. The common ancestors in 107, we in 108 right there. We in 108. This Osiris plot is right there. Yeah, they don't have no proof. They don't have no proof. Nothing. They don't have any proof of anything. All you have to do is know the exact terms to be able to ask them. That's all you got to do. So you just say, well, the fossil record. Nice for you to bring that up. Are you familiar with phyletic gradualism? And they say, oh, yeah, I know what that is. Okay, can you explain? Oh, okay, so you know what that is? All right, great. Has there been the fossils? Do you have any fossils that validates phyletic gradualism? Yeah, we got the fossils. Oh, yeah. All right, can you show us it? Can you show us the fossils? What you mean? It's in museums everywhere. No. Just pull it up, source it up. Yeah, just source up the fossils. Source up your common ancestor. Source up abiogenesis. Just source up abiogenesis. Show us abiogenesis right now. There's no source material for any of these claims. Not one. Not one. And that's why it's important when we talk about the health information, right? This is why it's important for us to remember things like doctors was promoting cigarettes. Remember, that's why I was showing you those old commercials of doctors doing all of the cigarette commercials, because nobody bothered to ask the doctors. Think about that. In the 40s in the 30s, or even earlier than that, when the doctors was doing commercials selling cigarettes, telling everybody cigarettes was healthy and amazing and the cool thing to do. What if somebody would have put one of them doctors on Front Street and been like, yo, can you prove that? No. Can you show us how the cigarette is healthy? Like, can you source that up? Yo, probably millions of people would have been alive. You know what I'm saying? Like, they would have saved millions of people if instead of allowing the doctors to flip it, because this is what took so long for them to put rules in place and agree like cigarettes is dangerous, because they let the doctors make you figure out the evidence. Meaning, when people start saying, no, we think cigarettes is dangerous, they was like, oh yeah, well, source it up. Show us a case study that validates that cigarettes is dangerous. It's like, hold up. How are you trying to get John Q. Public to debunk the doctors? You know what I'm saying? Like, no. Y'all made this thing in the lab, and now y'all selling it to people. It's not up to us to debunk what always been accepted. If you come in with the new thing, you got to prove that your new thing is better than the old thing. And since we can go back 4,000-5,000 years and see that every civilization had some form of intelligent design, when you pop up at 1860 whatever and say, no, there's no intelligence, there's no God, there's no, symmetry, balance, none of that. This is just an accident that just keeps on, this is the gift that keeps on giving, Yeah, Big Bang started, rocks exploded out of nowhere because there was nothing, and then there was something that exploded. Like, wait a minute. Well, what was the thing that exploded? Where'd that come from? You see? Big Bang, you got to take for granted there's a miracle. Something exploded, but there was nothing before that thing. So nothing existed, and then something exploded. How could something explode if nothing existed? If nothing existed, there'd be nothing to explode. Just saying. And if there was one thing that existed in a whole world of nothingness, what was the other thing that acted on the first thing that made that get crazy and then explode, right? So we got to take for granted that there was nothing, and then there was something, and then there was something else that acted on the first something that made that thing explode. Anyway, some of that leftover material from the explosion became the planet. And then some more of that leftover material fell onto the planet. And then some more of that leftover material got hot and started burning up the planet. And then somehow, in between these materials that came from the Big Bang, lightning struck, and then cells started living. Yeah, rocks, water, and gas turned into cells. That's what happened, right? And now, mind you, there's a time period where I believe things like this. There's a time period where I believe things like this, but I just kept studying. It was like, hold on. Scratch a lie, find a thief. This don't make no sense. No, this can't be right. This can't be right here. This is crazier. This is way crazier. No, this can't be right. So that's how I'm familiar. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I went through those schools myself and got to the other side of the matrix. Like, so y'all don't have no, like you get behind the curtain and Wizard of Oz. You're like, wait a minute. So y'all over here asking everybody else for proof and evidence and all kind of, y'all ain't got nothing back here. Where is y'all proof and evidence? What is happening back? So y'all ain't got nothing back here. Ain't no proof back here, no evidence, no validated prediction. Y'all ain't got nothing back here. Nope. Just a little tiny man with a, Wizard of Oz. He behind the curtain faking. Period. Darwin was a scammer. Yo, Darwin was a scammer, and they getting money. See, that's the thing. That's the part. They getting money. That's the thing that you got to understand. Nobody is trying to change anything what they living off, because you debunking their life. You know what I'm saying? Like, Unc and Cedric don't, you know, they're passionate about it, but they're not like their living is not tied to Darwin. But in the science world, these folks, their living is tied to these concepts. So they're not going to let it go. Unc and Cedric are just people that are hypnotized by these folks because they believe, like, you know, they believe in, you know, look, your eyes are getting heavy. You're getting sleepy. You're dumb. I'm not. I can prove you're dumb and I'm not, because I went to college and you didn't. So I have a piece of paper that says, I'm smarter than you. You are dumb. You are dumb. And they have internalized it. And so now they are passing that on to other folks. And yeah, this person right here said, and I'm like, I just got that little ignorant Bronx, like, so? Like, I don't care who, what? Bring him out. Where he at? I don't care. I don't believe. Nah. I need to see it. Don't tell me what you're going. I need to see it. You got to make me a believer. And so I figured it out. Scratch a lie, find a thief. There's no proof. There's no evidence for any of these claims. And so that's what we do throughout the first 2 books, is just really lay out in detail, like, all of the different claims and exactly how you can find that there's no evidence for it. And quickly turn that bravado and confidence into unsurety, insecurity, and sometimes they might get irate. You know, when you back somebody into a corner, fight or flight kicks in. So they might get humble. You know what I'm saying? That's the flight kicking in. They ready to run. Or they might get crazy and they start getting all wild and juiced up. You see how Cedric be looking. You know what I'm saying? They ready to fight. Because they realize they can no longer explain. They can no longer explain. So they fight or flight kicks in. They want to run or fight. You know what I'm saying? But like my man on the internet, you know, that's just that. So, yes. So the fossil thing has been completely debunked because, and this is the last thing, and then I'll let y'all go. They made a big find of fossils in China, right? So remember, now they're making up lie after lie gradually. Every time they get debunked, they make up a new lie, appeal to the future. No, you're just going to find, don't worry, keep looking. You're going to find another. So here's what God did. Here's what life, this is how life started life. This is just how the math started math. We just do it like that. They found another fossil find in China. And this fossil find was exactly what they said was impossible to find. Because remember, their excuse was the fossils that they needed to find to validate what they were saying, their predictions, was so old that the soft material didn't fossilize well. So it couldn't be preserved in the ground over X amount of time. You got to be careful what you wish for. They went right in China and found the and it's all soft tissue. It's all exactly what they said couldn't happen. So guess what they do after that? Now they can't lie anymore. So then they pull the same thing they pulled before and say, oh, well, we revised the theory. We've revised the theory. Yeah. We revised it. we realized that, we realized that phyletic gradualism is not entirely correct. So we were able to update the theory with the newer information. Like, wait, what did you just say? See, then they say stuff like that because they hoping you don't read or have like an attention span, so they hoping they can hit you with the you're getting sleepy, Yeah, so you gotta. What do you mean? You mean you admitted that the theory was debunked, and so you had to replace it with what people had been saying for 150 years was the truth? No, we didn't say that it was debunked. We just said it was incorrect. And so we had replaced it with the correct information. Yeah, but the correct information is totally the opposite of your information. Your information said things have to have gradual progression. The fossil record says, no, things happen all at once. And all at once, complexity. All at once complexity can only happen if there's an intelligent source. If there's an intelligent source that can immediately translate that information into biological forms that can sustain themselves. Yeah, well, basically, we've been incorporating alternative versions to support the original hypothesis. See that? Rise up, get help, and let the dark at night, Dr. Inky.
Rise up, get healthy, let the truth ignite. Dr. Inky, always bringing dark to light. CMOS senior system.
Yeah, that's how we had to do it.
There he is, else he wouldn't have took the damn debate. That's why I'm showing this. Okay, a scientific theory is an explanation of an aspect of the natural world that can be or that has been repeatedly tested and as corroborating evidence. It's in accordance with the scientific method using accepted protocols and observations, measurements and evaluations and results. That's it.
Yep.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay? That's it. That's it.
That's it.
That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it.
Wait. That's it?
That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it.
Why didn't he?
That's it.
Why didn't he keep reading to the word experiment?
That's it.
Why didn't he mention validating the predictions of the hypothesis? You sure that's it?
That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it.
We have a model, a hypothesis of abiogenesis, life emerging from chemical processes, and there are parts and portions of that hypothesis that has been filled. The main problem to create and produce a scientific theory, you would need a prediction, and you would need to recreate Earth's early circumstances to accurately model that effect. And that process of accurately modeling early Earth's environment is quite difficult and almost impossible. So abiogenesis, we have the concepts of how early life formed, the first cells, but it's not, like Ankh said, a complete scientific theory because we don't have a complete working model and we don't have a prediction. What? But it's not, like Ankh said, a complete scientific theory because we don't have a complete working model and we don't have a prediction. What? but it's not, like Ankh said, a complete scientific theory because we don't have a complete working model, because we don't have a complete working model, and we don't have a prediction. What? But we don't have a prediction. It's not like Ankh said, we don't have a prediction. Complete scientific, we don't have a prediction theory because we don't have a prediction. A complete working model, we don't have a prediction, and we don't have a prediction. What? But it's not, like Ankh said, a complete scientific theory because we don't have a complete working model and we don't have a prediction.
Rise up, get healthy, let the truth ignite. Dr. Inky always bringing dark to light. See Moss in your system.
Zelly, hold on. So we got Inky in the building. He says, listen, I have a whole book available on Amazon now. It says blacks, what? Anatomy, AL solves the evolution problem. Yeah, go get that book. Go get the book. All right. We're gonna get the book and do a book read on it, and we're gonna tear it to smithereens.
Problem number one. Ankh does not know who the father of evolution is. He and his students believe Darwin to be the father or sole inventor of evolution.
And then you try to separate Charles Darwin from evolution. I told you he's the father of evolution. He's the father of evolution. He's the father of evolution. His theory is the quote unquote foundation of evolutionary biology, which unifies everything in nature. So I'm just trying to tell, how is a man's theory not a theory that actually unifies biology? It's crazy.
Go to Amazon now. I'm telling you, this book is blowing up. Charles Darwin.
You are not.
Romney is a flip-flopper, that he changes his mind too much. Being that Mitt Romney is a flip-flopper, that he changes his mind too much.
And oh, by the way, he explained it all wrong.
In the 1800s, Francis Galton and other scientists performed experiments on the pangenesis theory and found it to be incorrect.
Inky is absolutely right about that statement right there. And oh, by the way, he explained it all wrong. I'm going to say it again. He's absolutely right. Charles Darwin's blood, second cousin, Galton, him and some other scientists actually tried to apply the scientific method, and they debunked the scientific hypothesis with pangenesis. They did that. You got nothing correct.
Being that Mitt Romney is a flip-flopper, that he changes his mind too much.
You got nothing correct. I'm going to say this again. Inky is right about pangenesis, right? Being disqualified by not having actual proof of it. You got nothing correct. Inky does a great job in explaining that. You got nothing correct. And you explained this eloquently. You got nothing correct. Attempted to explain inheritance and variation, and you explained this eloquently. Inky, now you straight outright lying. You got nothing correct, and you never bought that source. You got nothing correct. I appreciate you bringing up horizontal gene transfer years ago, right? I appreciate you bringing up pangenesis, right? And educating us on that. I actually appreciate that. You got nothing correct. The wrong explanation of how things was inherited does not debunk evolution. It actually strengthens it. The wrong explanation of how things was inherited does not debunk evolution. It actually strengthens it.
Yo, that's crazy. Yo, wasn't we just talking about that? This is crazy. The wrong explanation of how things work doesn't debunk the theory. It actually strengthens it. What are we doing? What kind of science are we doing where we get it wrong and somehow that's true? This is crazy. We gotta hear that again. That's crazy.
Actually strengthens it. The wrong explanation of how things was inherited does not debunk evolution. It actually strengthens it.
His scientific conclusion, the wrong explanation on how things was inherited, does not debunk Charles Darwin's theory of evolution and actually strengthens it.
The wrong explanation of how things was inherited does not debunk evolution. It actually strengthens it. The wrong explanation of how things was inherited does not debunk evolution. It actually strengthens it.
Is this your king? Is this your king? This is your king.
Go to Amazon now. I'm telling you, this book is blowing up.
Disclaimer. Bro Unc did call me out for not being able to read. The following. Yeah. Roll the tape.
He can't comprehend what he reads.
Go ahead, because your name is in the title. Go ahead,
So Ned, I need you to check your email.
Okay.
Pull something up. Because this is what Inky does not understand. He does what they all do. Okay? We're just going to get this straight. Let's get this real straight here.
Man, I would love to keep this going, but I got to go get my babies.
Yeah, I know. Running. I know. Go get your babies.
I'm a father of 5, and I take care of mine.
So I pull up your email real quick. He got 2 seconds.
All right.
Ask that man, did the scientists know everything? No, they don't know everything.
The only thing with this Unc is I don't know how to blow it up, so.
You don't got to blow it up. So can you read that to the people? First of all, we're going to ask Inky. Inky, do you know what a scientific theory is now? It's my turn to ask questions. It's my turn now. Do you know what a scientific theory is, Inky? You could look it up. I want you to, I ain't trying to get an aha moment.
No. I'm just like not answering, so you can go ahead and finish.
No. What is that? See? So this man didn't ask 1,000 questions. Now you ask him 2 questions.
Oh, you on the clock, brother. Just come on with your paper.
No, I want to know what is a scientific theory, bro. You can look it up. Go to Wikipedia.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, Osanetta, read it and see if he agrees with it.
You got to send it again. Sing it again.
I cannot send it again. It's going to knock me off the stream, y'all, bro.
Okay, hold on.
Nothing came through yet.
Wait, hold on. Oh, why can't you read it?
Wait, because I can't read, nigga. That's why. Now,
okay.
I can't read. So I can't read. So let's get that out the way. I cannot read. So that's why Sanetta's going to read. Hypothesis. We're talking about scientific hypothesis, just like we were talking about scientific facts. A tentative statement about the natural world leading to deductions that can be tested. If the deductions are verified, the hypothesis is provisionally corroborated. You know why I can do that? Because I practice scientific literacy, which requires you. You know why I can do that? Because I practice scientific literacy.
Is this your king? Is this your king? This is your king.
Go to Amazon now. I'm telling you, this book is blowing up.
There were plenty of scientists who addressed that before Charles Darwin.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they was trying to get decent, but go ahead. I'm gonna tell you why they wasn't successful. Go ahead.
Okay, go ahead. Tell me why they wasn't successful.
Because they didn't identify the mechanism. That's
wasn't successful.
Because they didn't identify the mechanism. And that's why he's called.
Wait.
No, don't cut me
right there.
Don't cut me off. Don't cut me off.
Okay, go ahead.
Cut me off. All Darwin thing lacked was what? A mechanism. No evidence of criminals in the blood of transferred traits. It says no evidence of transferred traits was found. Concluded pangenesis lacked empirical support. This is where this shit is falling apart. This is science right in front of y'all eyes.
Going to argue with me on a whole bunch of different things, but nobody is going to be able to tell you that gemules or gemules is real, that pangenesis is a fact, or that it was not debunked in the 1800s.
He's right. Nobody can tell you that it wasn't that, because that's exactly what happened. He's right. Nobody can tell you that it wasn't that, because that's exactly what happened. Inky, I'm going to say this again. Inky is right about pangenesis, right? Being disqualified by not having actual proof of it.
Is this your king? Is this your king?
This is a king.
Go to Amazon now. I'm telling you, this book is blowing up.
Evolution, which is really described very well in chapter 4 of The Origin of Species, really describes how organisms change through sexual selection and through environmental adaptation.
Are you saying yes or no that Charles Darwin's theory of evolution is good science, is correct science? Yes or no?
I am saying yes.
I asked you a simple question. Is Charles Darwin's theory of evolution correct? And you said yes. Am I missing?
It seems Jabari is Ank's student when it comes to blind devotion to Charles Darwin. He teaches his students that there was no one teaching evolution before Darwin. And that is a shame, as he calls himself a Kemetic scholar.
That there were plenty of scientists who addressed that before Charles Darwin. That there were plenty of scientists who addressed that before Charles Darwin. That there were plenty of scientists who addressed that before Charles Darwin. That there were plenty of scientists who addressed that before Charles Darwin. That there were plenty of scientists who addressed that before Charles Darwin. That there were plenty of scientists who addressed that before Charles Darwin.
Is this your king? Is this your king?
This is a king.
Go to Amazon now. I'm telling you, this book is blowing up.
Genius.
Sonetta, is this your king? Jabari confirms he has no clue what pangenesis is, so he has no clue what Charles Darwin's theory was or evolution in general. Watch.
Pangenesis is the scientific portion of Charles Darwin's theory of evolution. Jabari already confirmed it.
No, he didn't. No, he did not. He did not say that.
Yes, he did. No, you
Jabari didn't say that.
Is this your king? Is this your king?
This is a king.
Go to Amazon now. I'm telling you, this book is blowing up.
Because Hawk is more than equipped.
Aspen Dental is on a mission to help people smile again. We take care of over 7
more than equipped than I am to deal with it.
I never learned that Wallace published the theory of evolution with Darwin, because that's not true.
Because Hawk is more than equipped than I am to deal with it.
I never heard of none of these things. You're making it up, bro. And you know it. Come on,
reading it. We're reading it together.
No, we didn't read that.
85% of what I and Ankh actually say is exactly the same.
I never heard of none of these things.
85% of what I and Ankh actually say is exactly the same. I respect Ankh's scholarship. That's why I would sit with him. So I already knew, one of the only reasons why I even came in, by the way, is because Ankh couldn't. Because Ankh is more than equipped than I am to deal with it.
I never learned that Wallace published the theory of evolution with Darwin.
Because Ankh is more than equipped more than equipped than I am.
Can you explain to me what pangenesis is?
Because Unc is more than equipped than I am.
Is this your king? Is this your king? This is your king. What?
Can you explain to me what pangenesis is, Inky? Please, sir. Because I have no idea what you're talking about. Please explain that.
Because Unc is more than equipped than I am to deal with it.
Because I have no idea what you're talking about. Please explain that. And then I could answer the question because I don't know what you're talking about. At all. I have no idea what the hell you're talking about.
Where the videos at? Hold up, Si. Where the laughing emojis in the videos
Hey,
at?
bro, just explain it. You don't have to. Just explain. I'm forthcoming. If I don't know and understand something, I'm simply going to say. So explain to us what that is. What sources can we use to understand what you're talking about? Pangenesis. Explain that, please, sir.
So Unc is more qualified than Jabari on this subject. And Unc doesn't know about Alfred Wallace or pangenesis, which means Unc is unqualified and Jabari knows even less than that.
Because Unc is more than equipped than I am to deal with it.
I appreciate you bringing up horizontal gene transfer years ago, right? I appreciate you bringing up pangenesis, right? And educating us on that. I actually appreciate that.
Because Unc is more than equipped than I am to deal with it.
Disclaimer. Bro Unc did call me out for not being able to read. The following. Yeah. Roll the tape.
He can't comprehend what he reads.
Go ahead, because your name is in the title. Go ahead,
So, Ned, I need you to check your email.
Okay.
Pull something up. Because this is what Inky does not understand. He does what they all do. Okay? We're just going to get this straight. Let's get this real straight here.
Man, I would love to keep this going, but I got to go get my babies.
Yeah, I know. Run it. I know. Go get your babies.
I'm a father of 5, and I take care of mine.
I gotta pull up your email real quick. He got 2 seconds.
All right.
Ask that man, did the scientists know everything? No, they don't know everything.
The only thing with this Unc is I don't know how to blow it up, so.
You don't got to blow it up. So can you read that to the people? First of all, we're going to ask Inky. Inky, do you know what a scientific theory is? Now it's my turn to ask questions. It's my turn now. Do you know what a scientific theory is, Inky? You can look it up. I want you to, I ain't trying to get an aha moment.
No. I'm just like not answering, so you can go ahead and finish.
No. What is that? See? So this man didn't ask 1,000 questions. Now you ask him 2 questions.
Oh, you on the clock, brother. Just come on with your paper.
No, I want to know what is a scientific theory, bro. You can look it up. Go to Wikipedia.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, Osanetta, read it and see if he agrees with it.
You gotta send it again. Send it again.
I cannot send it again. It's gonna knock me off the stream, y'all, bro.
Okay, hold on.
Nothing can do yet.
Wait, hold on. Oh, why can't you read it?
Because I can't read, nigga. That's why. Now, I can't read. So I can't read. So let's get that out the way. I cannot read. So that's why Sanetta's gonna read. Hypothesis. We're talking about scientific hypothesis, just like we were talking about scientific facts. A tentative statement about the natural world leading to deductions that can be tested. If the deductions are verified, the hypothesis is provisionally corroborated. You know why I can do that? Because I practice scientific literacy. What?
Unc is more than equipped than I am to deal with this. Unc is more than equipped than I am to deal with this.
Is this your king? Is this your king? This is your king.
Somewhere in summertime.
of pangenesis. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, hold on.
I'd love for you to show us a source. It'd be great if it could be in Darwin. Wait a minute. Wait. It would be great if it could be in Darwin's own writing. By the way, I assume that you also know that. I'd love for you to show us a source. It'd be great if it could be in Darwin. Wait a minute. Wait. It would be great if it could be in Darwin's own writing. By the way, I assume that you also know that. I'd love for you to show us a source. It'd be great if it could be in Darwin. Wait a minute. Wait. It would be great if it could be in Darwin's own writing. By the way, I assume that you also know that. I'd love for you to show us a source. It'd be great if it could be in Darwin. Wait a minute. Wait. It would be great if it could be in Darwin's own writing. If it could be in Darwin's own writing. Darwin's own writing.
Is this your king? This is your king.
Go to Amazon now. I'm telling you, this book is blowing up.
Jumping out of your lane, though. I'm gonna keep it.
Hold on.
Inky. I think you are jumping out of your lane, though. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. Your lane is health. Your lane is health, brother. You're going into his lane. You know, all of us have lanes that we go by, and Unc's specialty is evolution.
I'm not an expert on evolution. That's just something that it says, bro. I'm a layman like everybody else.
Because Unc is more than equipped than I am to deal with it.
I'm not an expert on evolution. That's just something that it says, bro. I'm a layman like everybody else.
And misunderstanding of the scientific fact, and misunderstanding of the scientific theory, and misunderstanding of the scientific law, and misunderstanding of the scientific fact, and misunderstanding of the scientific theory, and misunderstanding of the scientific law, and misunderstanding of the scientific fact, and misunderstanding of the scientific theory, and misunderstanding of the scientific law, and misunderstanding of the scientific fact, and misunderstanding of the scientific theory, and misunderstanding of the scientific law.
Because Unc is more than equipped than I am to deal with this.
Is this your king? This is your king.
Go to Amazon now. I'm telling you, this book is blowing up.
Scientific theory. That's the same thing. Inky don't know what the hell a scientific theory is, else he wouldn't have took the damn debate. That's why I'm showing this. Okay, a scientific theory is an explanation of an aspect of the natural world that can be or that has been repeatedly tested and as corroborating evidence. It's in accordance with the scientific method using accepted protocols and observations, measurements and evaluations and results. That's it.
Yep.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it.
That's it?
That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it.
Wait. That's it?
That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it.
Why didn't he?
That's it.
Why didn't he keep reading to the word experiment?
That's it.
Why didn't he mention validating the predictions of the hypothesis? You sure that's it?
That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it.
We have a model, a hypothesis of abiogenesis, life emerging from chemical processes, and there are parts and portions of that hypothesis that has been filled. The main problem to create and produce a scientific theory, you would need a prediction, and you would need to recreate Earth's early circumstances to accurately model that effect. And that process of accurately modeling early Earth's environment is quite difficult and almost impossible. So abiogenesis, we have the concepts of how early life formed, the first cells, but it's not, like Ankh said, a complete scientific theory because we don't have a complete working model and we don't have a prediction.
What?
But it's not, like Ankh said, a complete scientific theory because we don't have a complete working model and we don't have a prediction.
What?
But it's not, like Ankh said, a complete scientific theory because we don't have a complete working model, because we don't have a complete working model, and we don't have a prediction. What? But we don't have a prediction. It's not like Ankh said, we don't have a prediction. Complete scientific, we don't have a prediction. Theory, because we don't have a prediction. A complete working model, we don't have a prediction. And we don't have a prediction. What? But it's not like Ankh said, a complete scientific theory, because we don't have a complete working model and we don't have a prediction.
Rise up, get healthy, let the truth ignite. Dr. Inky always bringing dark to light. See Moss in your system.
Zelly, hold on. So we got Inky in the building. He says, listen, I have a whole book available on Amazon now. It says Black's what? Anatomy. AL solves the evolution problem. Yeah, go get that book. Go get the book. All right. We're gonna get the book and do a book read on it, and we're gonna tear it to smithereens. But you got to get it to tear it to smithereens.
Inky prayer number 2. We give thanks and praise to the Most High God for the divine spark that set our cells into perpetual motion. We give thanks for the magnetism of the Most Holy, the magnetism that repels and attracts the ferry boats of light 60,000 miles every 60 seconds throughout our vessels and caves. We give thanks for the ability to drink clean water every 60 minutes, flooding the river of life. We give thanks that sugar has not covered our ferries and turned them into stone. We give thanks that darkness has not covered the riverbanks with calcium and turned them into stone. We give thanks that anger and fear have not turned our almonds bitter, turning our heart to stone. We give thanks for smooth sailing upstream through the valley of death, through the superior vena cava into the right atrium. We give thanks for smooth sailing around the heart through the corona crown, joining the vortex in the right atrium. We give thanks for the perfect black solar repeater that induces the primary electromagnetic wave, opening the mouth of the Kodesh HaKodeshim. We give thanks for the mechanical wave produced when the mouth of the Kodesh HaKodeshim closes. We give thanks to the ray wave, reflecting on the semi-lunar valves, opening a pathway to the vineyard. We give thanks for the mechanical wave produced when the lunar gate to the vineyard closes. We give thanks to the Most High God that provides the light and our breath, and the light in our breath. We give thanks for the fine olfactory system that makes our grapes ripe with light. We give thanks for the Jed pillar that provides us with a stable fleet of ferry boats to dock in our vineyard. We give thanks for smooth sailing through the pulmonary vein into the storm of the left atrium. We give thanks for the perfect black solar repeater that induces the primary electromagnetic wave, opening the mouth of the Kodesh HaKodeshim. We give thanks for the mechanical wave produced when the mouth of the Kodesh HaKodeshim closes. We give thanks to the ray wave,
reflecting on the semi-lunar valves, opening a pathway into the holy royal arch of the Wa scepter. We give thanks for the mechanical wave produced when the lunar gate into the holy royal arch of the Wa scepter closes. We give thanks for the magnetism of the most holy, the magnetism that repels and attracts the ferry boats of light 60,000 miles every 60 seconds throughout our vessels and our caves.
This is why you have to go to Amazon and get the book, Rich Abs, Poor Abs, now.